Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Precious and this is Precious Touch TV. If you're just joining me, welcome. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. I know I've been AWOL for a while now. I'm tired of apologizing. I'm back here now and that's the most important thing. Guess what I'll be talking about today? Some of the best ways to live and accept your truth. These are tips that have worked for me and I'm sharing them with you today. So I'm very excited because my channel is beginning to turn to something that I can actually identify with. You know, it's beginning to become an extension of me, and I am so glad to share myself with you here. So keep watching and let me share with you some of the best ways to live and accept your truth. When I'm talking about your truth here, I'm talking about who you really are, what your essence is, you know, in terms of your relationship with people, where you find yourself in life, kind of things that are happening around you, the dreams you've had in the past, your aspirations and goals, and etc, etc, etc. Guys, believe you me when I tell you I've been there before. In fact, we are all still there. You can only aspire to live better and do better, and that's why I felt like, you know what, this is something that's been going on in my mind for a while. Why not just share it with my YouTube family, which is what I am doing. So some of the things I'm going to say are going to sound cliche. I must warn you. You're going to hear things like be yourself. Yes, be yourself. Very important, but very cliche, but very important. You know, you're going to hear things like you need to start doing. Very cliche, but still very important. So please watch this video till the end while I share with you some of the things that I think you need to start doing in order to live and accept your truth. And by the way, these are things that are working for me or that I do and practice as I live. So there's no one size fits all. You need to actually discover and find yourself, but I feel like me sharing, you know, my perspective and my journey is going to help somebody out there. So keep watching. Recording now. When I say the best way to live and accept your truth, this means different things to different people, right? And I'm going to be talking from my own perspective being the perspective of a young African woman that lives in Nigeria, her beloved home country. You know, a mom, a colleague, an employee, an entrepreneur, a sister, a friend, whatever. You know, I'm going to be talking from that angle. Those are the things that I do in my life, and those are the things that I don't want to say those are things I represent, but I kind of feel like you get the drift. So basically, the best way to live and accept your truth for me is to be yourself. Sounds cliche, I know, but let me just get into it. Like, accepting your truth has a lot of things to do with, you know, your mindset and how you come about your current being, who you are at the moment. So there are a couple of things. I am not a psychologist, so I'm not going to go into like deep details, but there are a couple of basic things I think that anybody that wants to live and accept their truth can do to help them be more whole. So I find that many people struggle with letting go of certain things, letting go of their past, letting go of their situation, letting go of maybe, you know, circumstances of their background, circumstances of the way they grew up, circumstances of the kind of life they lived when they were younger and things like that. And to be honest, it's not something that I can say is very easy, but I think every human being needs to try, you know, when it comes to deliberately relieving yourself of some burdens and some baggages we carry along as we grow up. What do I mean? So for example, you had a childhood friend and, you know, you were best friends in your head, or you felt like, oh, this person is my best friend, or you guys were just, you know, friends growing up, and then along the line you go to different secondary schools, different universities, and you make other friends, and then in your mind you feel like, oh, this person is my friend, this person has a special place in my heart, and then you realize eventually that the person has moved on. The person has moved on to other friends, moved on to other people. Yeah, you were the person's friend back then, but you are no longer his or her friend at the moment. Sometimes it's difficult for us to accept and realize that, you know what, I am best friends with this person in my head, you know, and the best thing for you to do at that point in time is to move on. So I'm going to be talking about basically how you move on from situations like that. So for me, the first thing you can do is to stop comparing yourself to the person. So you could have been your cousin, it could have been your best friend, it could have been childhood friends, and then somehow maybe your parents or your neighborhood or your school or your circumstances just made you to feel like you and this person always have to be at par. So you're in primary 1 together, you're in primary 6 together, you enter secondary school the same time, now you finish secondary school the same time, life begins to happen, and then one person or the other might get admission into university before the other person, so there is a shift, and then eventually, you both graduate, somebody gets a job before the other person, or somebody begins to live your childhood dreams. Like maybe you had a best friend and you guys planned to be astronauts together, and you guys were always pretending to be astronauts, and then somehow along the line your best friend is now an astronaut and you're just an engineer, or you're just a medical doctor, and you're thinking that was our dream. Guy, just calm down and let's go. The best thing to do is just accept your reality, come to terms with yourself, stop comparing your life or yourself with that person, because the more you do that, the more you find that you will see reasons to hate the person that you have become. And believe you me, as they say in our movies, believe you me, believe me you have put in work to get to where you are. So don't stress, don't be too hard on yourself, and don't compare yourself to this person that makes you feel like, oh, you're not achieving so much. Another thing you can do to get the best out of accepting your life and your truth is to stop spectating. So I've noticed that some people, because of background and situations around their upbringing, I'm going to speak from personal experience, you feel like, oh, if it's happening in the other person's life, then it should be happening in my life too. And what do I mean by this? So you feel like whatever is happening in the other person's life is you're supposed to be a part of it. Just like I alluded to the dream the other time. Oh, it's our dream to be astronauts. Now you're an astronaut. Why am I not there with you? And you begin to drag yourself down mentally, psychologically, emotionally, and begin to go down the drain, and that's a different ball game altogether. So what I would advise you to do, like I did, was to stop spectating. So the person is living your dream, good, start living a new dream, or pick up from where you stopped and start piecing yourself together. The most important thing is that you are living the dream. The most important thing is that you are doing something. So stop spectating, stop being clapperboard or supporters club, or people that just sit on the side and watch things happen. Start doing something. Maybe if you start doing something as well, you'll be so distracted that you will not even notice what's going on the other person's or in the other person's life. Being a spectator, you can also stop being a critic. Stop criticizing every single thing that somebody does. If, for example, you do not have the liver to do it and somebody else is already doing it, then why are you comfortable always sitting on the side and saying, why are they doing this? They could have done it like this. Why didn't they do it like this? Go and start doing something. Go and start getting busy. Do you understand? If you keep criticizing every single thing that you feel your competition or your peer is doing, then how are you going to pick yourself up and move along? And don't forget, in my language, they say Ogummanananama. That means he that kills by a sword dies by a sword. So if you keep criticizing people or keep criticizing what other people are doing, most of the time, most often than not, you will not have time to do yourself, you will not have time to create, and you will find that if you are not careful, because you are focused on criticizing instead of focusing on building yourself, you will never be enough, you will never do well enough, you will not even approve of whatever it is you are doing yourself, because you feel like, oh, I've criticized so much that I need to be perfect, and nobody's perfect. So those are the things. So stop criticizing. That's one of the things that you need to do in order to live and accept your truth. At least it works for me, so I'm suggesting that you try it as well. In order to live and accept your truth, one of the things I can advise you to stop doing is to stop grasping straws. What do I mean by that? Stop reaching out for this and that and that and this and everything. This might be like shooting myself in the foot, because I used to fall into this space as well, and I feel like I'm in a good place to talk about it because I've been there. So you feel like, oh, you are so multi-talented, or you can do a lot of things, or you see people do things and you feel like, is it not this thing? It's easy now. Is it not to bake? It's easy now, I can bake. Is it not to do makeup? It's easy now, I can do makeup. It's not photography. I'm a photographer, can't I snap? Is it not to? and then you find that you are doing a lot of things at the same time. That's one. Another thing is trying to live like somebody. So I was on Instagram the other day and I noticed that there's this particular lady I follow. She's a naturalista, she's a makeup artist, she's a YouTuber. She does cooking. Her on her YouTube she does food. She's a foodie on YouTube. She does makeup tutorial on YouTube. Recently she has started posting what they call open heavens on her Instagram stories, because Toke Makinwa is posting open heavens on her Instagram stories. She's posting. So I was just like, there's no need for this thing. You're trying to be Toke, you're trying to be CCME, you're trying to be Wanifuga, you're trying to be everybody, and you are being nobody. Like, I needed to say this because I find that a lot of people fall into this space, and trust me, I've been there. When you feel like, oh, you can do 1,000,001 things and you can do them very well, and then you feel like, if not, why not? And then you begin to venture, you will just be draining yourself, and you will not be accepting the fact that that is not your truth. Where does this being your truth come in? Toke Makinwa has a team of people that ensures she looks paying. She might not even be the one posting her open heavens, although I think she's the one. CCME is a full-time YouTuber. That's what she does. Like, food blogging is her calling. Do you understand? So if you want to combine a bit of CCME, a bit of Toke Makinwa, a bit of this and that, you've lost your originality. And because that is not your truth, maybe in your own truth, in your own life, you are a working mom like me. You know, you have a full-time job, you have a side hustle that you need to manage, or a business. In addition to that, you now want to be Toke Makinwa and CCME and oh, please. So what I'm trying to say is, stop grasping straws. Just focus on your focus. And I think that will help you to accept and live your truth even better. Talking about the things that you should stop doing. Now I want to talk about the things that you should start doing. Definitely, number one, start doing. If it means emulating somebody, no problem, start emulating. But the important thing is to stop sitting on your ass and thinking things will fall into your lap, or people are going to notice that you have been left out of their dream and then bring you in or include you. No, just start doing you. Start doing something. Oh, you wanted to be an astronaut when you were young, and then now your friend is living the dream of being an astronaut. Be happy for the person. If you can still pursue your astronomism, go and be an astronaut. But if you cannot, then ask yourself, what is my new dream? What is my new calling? And then start pursuing it. But the important thing is to start what? Doing. Start doing, start emulating. Copy if you must. Of course, everybody needs a mentor, and some of us, we cannot reach the kind of mentors we want. I'm sure some of you want Oprah as your mentor, but if you cannot reach her, then start being, your own little Oprah in your own space. Or you can reach her through other means, like her books, her excerpts, her tips. You can actually get her to mentor you virtually. So those are the things. Start. Copy if you must, but first of all, focus and know what you are copying. Then you can now even venture and say, okay, this is it now. Okay, this is my new dream. This is how I want to pursue it. I'm going to focus on being myself. I'm not going to be trapped in my childhood dream of being an astronaut with my best friend, and now that my best friend is now an astronaut, or my best friend in my head is now an astronaut, I cannot move on. So start doing, emulate and copy if you must. One of the things you need to do in order to start accepting and living your truth is to reach out. If you need to reach out to somebody or reach out to people in order to get closure in a particular part of your life, please do. Just recently, I had to reach out to somebody. I called her up and I was like, hi, how you doing? How's everything? It's been a while. It's been so long, and then we just spoke for some minutes, and at some point she wasn't really getting like what I was trying to do, but I just kind of missed her, my childhood, friend or neighbor, and I was like, oh, it's been a while. I actually miss you. I was like, miss? I was like, yeah, I actually just miss you, and I just felt like, what, I should just call you and check up on you. And she was like, oh, it's been a while, and things like that. But at that point of our discussion, I knew that was the end. I knew that, there was no more room for me to be carrying the friendship that could have been with this person about in my heart. There's no point, and I immediately found closure. But what I did was, Had I reached out? Yes, I had reached out, and that was it. So sometimes you need to reach out in order for you to stop reaching out. Because what happens is that if you do not reach out, your heart will continue to reach out to the person. You continue to feel like, oh, there's something this person has that I need to collect, or there's something this person needs to give me, or there's a part of my life that this person needs to complete or feel, or there's a memory that you hold so dear and you feel like more could have come out of it. My dear, happens to the best of us. So I think one of the things we need to start doing in order to accept our truth is to reach out and then stop reaching out. The thing I think is important for us to know is that we need to be enough. We need to be enough in our head. We need to be okay with ourselves. We need to be okay with where we are. And I'm not saying be so okay that you will not aspire for greater things, no. But I'm saying in terms of always comparing yourself to maybe a peer or a colleague or a friend from your past or something, be okay with where you are. Because only then can you now begin to, flourish where you are. I'm just speaking words today, Lord. So be okay with where you are, basically, and then you can take it from there. Now, when I say be okay with where you are, it doesn't mean that place that you are will just be everything just be okay, you just be floating. No, you still have challenges, you still have struggles, but at least you've shed, your fantasy, or you stop building castles in the air about what you should have been or how you should have. Like, I had a dream of being a gymnast one time. I thought so 2020 what do you call it? So 2000 I was going to be there like live, but at the time I was like, okay, so this gymnast dream is not going to work anymore, and then packed it up. But my point is, you cannot keep living in the past if you want to progress. And I speak to you as I speak to myself too. I've realized this times without number that most of the time the person that is stopping you is you. The person that is stopping us is ourselves. So I hope I've been able to bring you some light and sunshine today. I shot this video with natural lighting. I'm facing the sun, I'm watching the sunset go down, and I feel so awesome. So guys, please like, share, subscribe, thumbs up this video. What else do YouTubers ask for? Okay, yeah, so like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, and then drop your comments. I'll be glad to interact in the comment section. I'll see you in my next video. Until then, when your kids are playing outside during the holiday and you have some free time to shoot your video, woo! Kids are outside playing and I'm inside shooting my video with no disturbance. Ooh, 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 ooh.